Good day, everyone. My name is Dr. Adeoluwa Lawrence, and I will be taking you GST 312 Peace and Conflict Resolution. Peace and Conflict Resolution. That's the course title, and these are the learning outcomes. At the end of the course, you as students should be able to number one, analyze the concepts of peace, conflict, and security. Number two, you should be able to list major forms, types, and root causes of conflict and violence, conflict and violence. Of course, you should be able to differentiate between conflict and terrorism, and would have been able to achieve the fact that you're able to enumerate security and peace building strategies. You should lastly be able to describe roles of international organizations, media, and traditional institutions in peace building. Concepts of peace, conflict, and security. Peace, of course, like and more than the absence of war, it includes harmony and basic needs met. When there is harmony, when basic needs are met, we can say that there is peace. Okay, so it goes beyond just the absence of war. Conflict, the definition of conflict, to see it as opposing needs or interests, like like neighbors disputing over land. All right, and security is protection from internal or external threats like insurgency and terrorism. Insurgency and terrorism. What are the types and theories of conflict that we have? We have ethnic conflict, we have religious, we have economic conflict and geopolitical conflicts. Okay, we will look at the theories of conflicts that we have. One is structural conflict theory. That is when inequalities are embedded in society. When inequalities are embedded in society, we say there is structural conflict theory. And when there are unmet needs leading to violence, we call that frustration aggression theory. And of course, when conflict is inevitable due to self-interest, groups and nations, we call it realist theory. Realist theory. So we have um, three types of three theories of conflict. One is structural conflict theory. Second, we have frustration aggression theory, and of course, realist theory. Okay, so the root causes of conflict and violence in Africa we see as political disputes, ethnic rivalries, economic inequalities. All right, we have indigenous and settler conflicts like the elder and farmer conflicts. We have the resource control. We have boundary disputes and nationalism. All right, these are the root causes of conflict currently in Africa. Right, so selected conflict case studies that we'll be looking at the Thief Junction conflict. That is when there are conflicts, ethnic disputes over land and political control. We'll look at that. All right, we also have chieftaincy and land disputes, in rural communities, in several rural communities. So looking at peace building and conflict management, we'll look at international organizations like UN, AU. What are their roles in peacekeeping? What do they do when there is conflict? Okay, we see community policing, we see alternative dispute resolution, that is ADR. How do they come in when there is peace building, when there is conflict? How do they come in to manage the conflict on ground? Then we look at how dialogue, how negotiation, arbitration, and collaboration helps in resolving conflict. Okay, we'll look at that. Now, what is we look at legal framework. Okay, we look at justice and legal framework. So we have social justice, that is the fair distribution of resources and opportunities. We see Nigerian legal system. Okay, that's when it comes to courts and community-based resolution methods in Nigeria. Right, we have the role of traditional leaders in this dispute resolution, where we see traditional leaders coming in when there are disputes. Okay, now we have insurgency and also terrorism. Insurgency, of course, the armed rebellion against the state, e.g., we have the Boko Haram currently in Nigeria. Okay, we have terrorism, use of violence to achieve political goals, the use of violence to achieve political goals. Okay, we have security measures to prevent and combat, terrorism. It's on and on every time. Now we'll go on to look at the roles of international organizations, like I said earlier. Okay, United Nations, that is UN, taking on peacekeeping missions, e.g. in Sudan, Mali. Okay, we have the African Union, that's AU, and of course the ECOWAS, looking into regional conflict management. Then we have contributions to peace treaties and humanitarian aid. All this we'll be looking at in the classes that we're going to be having. All right, so we have many. How do we manage post-conflict situations? Because when there is conflict, it is managed. Then we have a post-conflict situation. That is what brings about refugee settlements. That's what brings about support for IDPs, that is internally displaced persons. Okay, we have the situation of rebuilding communities and infrastructures post conflict. All right, and we have NGOs coming to the aid of people and their role in rehabilitation and reconciliation. Rehabilitation and reconciliation. We also look at role of media and traditional institutions. Does the media help in peace conflict? We'll see how media spreads peace messages and foster dialogues, and of course the traditional institutions, like I said earlier, chiefs and elders as mediators. Okay, and of course community-based resolutions to local disputes. In conclusion, the concept of peace, conflict, and security in this outline has been analyzed. Okay, we're going to be looking at the outline in subsequent classes, and we have seen the major forms, the types, and the root causes of conflict and violence being listed. Okay, we have also seen the difference between conflict and terrorism. Okay, and we have seen the security and peace building strategies being enumerated. Also, the roles of international organizations, media, and traditional institutions in peace building were described. So I'll look forward to seeing you in subsequent classes where we enumerate and further discuss this outline. Thank you very much. See you in the next class.